Hello students. In first part of bringing up curry, we have we started the chapter and we have completed two pages. We have learned that the writer who is very young takes good care of the elephant and it is not at all easy to look after the elephant, that is curry. Both were growing together and it was a painstaking task to collect food for curry because he didn't eat mutilated twigs, and this elephant was also taken to the river where the narrator used to bathe him. Now we'll continue. Now what happened before this, we have also learned that suddenly what happened when he was in the forest cutting twigs for him, he heard the elephant squealing. Now he thought that the elephant is in danger. I looked all over, but I could not find him. Now the narrator looked all over if Curry is there, if Curry is in some trouble, but he couldn't find the elephant. I went near the edge of the water and I saw a black something struggling above the surface. Now what happened? The the narrator went near the edge of the water and he saw that something is there inside the water and it is struggling to come up. So there is something black. Then it rose higher and it was the trunk of my elephant. And the thing that was struggling above the surface of water rose higher, came up, and it was the trunk of his dear Curry. I thought he was drowning. I was helpless because I could not jump into the water and save the 400 pounds of him since he was much higher than I. The narrator thought that Curry is drowning. That is why he is squealing. He is calling his master. But the master was also helpless because he could not jump into the water. He was not a good swimmer. He didn't know swimming. More than that, he cannot take out someone more heavier than him out of water. The elephant weigh 400 pounds and it is not easy to carry that much of weight by a boy like the narrator. But I saw his back rise above the water, and the moment he caught my eye, he began to trumpet and struggle up to the shore. Now, the narrator saw that the back portion of elephant rise above the water, and as soon as the elephant saw the narrator, he began to trumpet, he began to squeal, and he struggled up to the shore. He came to the shore. Then, still trumpeting, he pushed me into the water. And as I fell into the stream, I saw a boy lying flat on the bottom of the water. Then, still trumpeting, the elephant came to the shore and he pushed the narrator inside the water as if he is instructing, he is directing the boy to do something. So, as soon as he was inside the water, the narrator he can see that as the boy was lying on the bottom of the water. Possibly it is this boy whom Curry is trying to save, and he is also asking the narrator to save this boy. He had not altogether touched bottom but was somewhat afloat. The boy had not touched the bottom altogether finally, but he was somewhat floating. I came to the surface of the water to take my breath, and there Curry was standing, his feet planted in the sandbank and his trunk stretched out like a hand waiting for mine. Now he came to the surface of the water. He saw the boy lying on the floor, on water floor, and he came upwards to have a breath, to take a breath, and he saw that Curry was standing and his feet was strung in the sandbank and his trunk was stretched as if he was asking the narrator to uh, put out his hand and he will be there helping him. I dived down again and pulled the body of the drowning body to the surface, but not being a good swimmer, I could not swim ashore and the slow current was already dragging me down. He dived down, he jumped again, he plunged inside the water and he pulled the body of the drowning boy to the surface. But as he was not a good swimmer, he couldn't come to the shore. Okay, by swimming. But what happened? He thought that the current of the water, the flow of the water was dragging him inside the water. Seeing us drift by in the current, Curry, who was usually slow and ponderous, suddenly darted down like a hawk and came halfway into the water, where I saw him stretch out his trunk again. Now, when Curry saw that the narrator is taken away, carried away by the current water flow, Curry is usually slow and ponderous. Ponderous means he keeps on thinking. He cannot act quickly. Now what happened? He jumped inside the water like a hawk and come out of the water, and he saw that he had stretched his trunk. I raised up my hand to catch it and it slipped. Now He raised up his hand to catch the trunk so that he can come out of the water, but it slipped. I found myself going under the water again, but this time I found that the water was not very deep, so I sank to the bottom of the river and doubled my feet under me, and then suddenly kicked the riverbed and so shot upwards like an arrow. Now, what happened? This time, what happened? He felt that he's going inside the water, under the water, but the water was not very deep, so he strongly stood on the floor and he jumped and came upwards. He kicked the riverbed and came upwards. In spite of the fact that I was holding the drowning boy with my hand, the narrator was holding the boy in his hand, and it is difficult to jump upwards while you are carrying a heavy thing in your hand, but still the narrator managed to do that, because both the narrator and Curry the elephant, they were trying to save the drowning boy. Now both have the same feelings for the boy, though Curry is an elephant, but since he lives with that boy, he has kindness, he has sensitivity in him, and as a result of that, he had jumped inside the water to save the boy. As my as my body rose above the water, I felt a lasso around my neck. Now, as he was rising above the water, as he was coming upwards, he felt that there is a lasso around his neck. Lasso means a rope. This frightened me. I thought some water animal was going to swallow me. Now, what happened? He was frightened. He thought that some water animal is there who has got hold of him. I heard Curry squealing, and I knew it was his tongue about my neck. He pulled us both ashore. Now, he heard that Curry was squealing, and at the time he realized that it is the trunk of Curry who has hold him and the boy together. Now this is how Curry helped the boy come out of the water. He not only instructed his master, that is the narrator, to go inside the water and help the boy, but he himself also jumped inside the water when the boy was not there, when he was cutting twigs for him. Not only that, when the boy was inside the water, he didn't rested. He took care of the boy and the narrator, and he also helped by providing his trunk. This is the human side of the elephant. Now there are many stories in which we can see the human side, the feeling which the elephant has, or the elephant or any other animal has. Now, for in the first part, we have discussed how what are the food habits, how he enjoys playing with his master and bathing and rubbing sand on his body. Then we have learned about how he saved the drowning baby, and now we'll move on to another part. Curry becomes fond of ripe bananas. He believes in self help, much to the discomfort of his friend. With quiet dignity, Curry accepts the cheating he knows he deserves. Now, Curry becomes fond of ripe bananas. He likes eating ripe bananas, and Curry also believes in self help. Okay, his friend doesn't like that he is helping himself. He wants that Curry takes the help of his friend, but he is helping himself. And when Curry is scolded for the mistakes he has done, he accepts that with quiet dignity, because he feels that he has done the mistake and he should be punished for that. Curry was like a baby. He had to be trained to be good, and if you did not tell him when he was naughty, he was up to more mischief than ever. Now Curry was like a baby because he had to be instructed, he had to be trained to be good. Okay, and if the narrator didn't tell him anything, if the narrator didn't scold him, then Curry used to be more naughty. For instance, one day somebody gave him some bananas to eat. Very soon he developed a great love for ripe bananas. Now one day what happened? Somebody gave him few bananas and he ate that bananas. For as a result of that, he developed a taste for eating ripe bananas, and he had a great love. We used to keep large plates of fruit on a table near a window in the dining room. Now the narrator in his dining room used to have a plate full of fruit on a table, and that table was near a window. One day, all the bananas on the table disappeared, and my family blamed the servants for eating all the fruit in the house. One day, what happened? From that plate, all the bananas disappeared. Now, the family, we know the family members, they blame the servants or the children. They blame the servants of the house for eating all the bananas. A few days later, the food disappeared again. This time, the blame was put on me. Now, after a few days, the bananas disappeared again. Now, it cannot be the servants, because once they are blamed, then they will not repeat the mistake again, second time. So, the blame was put on the narrator. It seemed the narrator had taken the bananas or eaten the bananas. and I knew I had not done. It made me very angry with my parents and the servants, for I was sure they had taken all the fruit. Now the narrator was very angry with his parents, because he thought that they are blaming him, but he has not eaten the bananas. He was also angry with the servants, because according to him the servants must have taken those bananas. The next time the fruit disappeared, I found a banana all smashed up in Curry's pavilion. The next time the fruit disappeared, this became a routine habit. Again and again, the fruits are getting disappeared. Not only all the fruits, but mainly bananas. So he found one bananas was smashed in Curry's pavilion where Curry lives. This surprised me very much, for I had never seen fruit there, and as you know, he had always lived on twigs. Now he was amazed, he was taken aback, he was surprised, because he has not seen Curry eating banana at any day. He has only seen him eating twigs. How come Curry has started eating bananas? How he has developed a taste for bananas? And more than that, how has he learned to steal bananas from the dining table? So we should keep up to here. Then we'll continue further in the next class.